Hello again, everyone. So today we are going to start our third unit, and we're going to look at drifting continents and Pangaea. Now this lesson is a little short, so I hope you maybe take some time to review your notes of the past 2 units, all right? Because we will be looking at a test following this unit. So our only objective here is, what was Wagner's hypothesis about the continents? So first of all, we've got this gentleman Alfred Wagner, all right? And he had this idea of how the continents came to be. Now, I hope you know all 7 continents. As you can see there, we've got North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and of course, Antarctica. Some vocabulary to begin. First of all, a continent. A continent is a large land mass. All right, we just went over them. All right, North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, Antarctica, all huge pieces of land. Next is a boundary. A boundary is the point or line where one region ends and another begins. So I've included this picture here of Thailand because it shows the boundaries. You've got the boundaries between the countries, between Myanmar and Thailand, Thailand and Cambodia, Thailand and Laos, Thailand and Malaysia. But you've also got the interior boundaries, the boundaries between the provinces. Okay? So you've got like Nakhon Ratchasima and Surin, all right? Or the various boundaries between the smaller provinces in and around Bangkok. A fossil. A fossil is any trace of an ancient organism that has been preserved in rock. So I put a picture of a fish fossil. All right, an ancient fish, an old fish that has been preserved or saved in the rock. And we've got 2 prefixes. Now, a prefix is something that is attached to another word to change its meaning. The 2 prefixes we're going to look at today are mid, at or near the middle, and sub, below, beneath, or under. I want to just focus in on sub for a moment, just to extrapolate on what a prefix means. All right? The MRT, all right, which is just outside school, I'm sure many of you use it. The MRT is a subway, all right? It is a way below or beneath or under the earth, right? Subway, subway. A way beneath the earth, okay? So that's how we use prefixes as a brief example. So let's begin here with continental drift. Now, this is a hypothesis by Alfred Wagner that all continents were once joined together in a single landmass and have since moved apart. So he said that all 7 of our continents were once one. but over time they've moved apart. Now, as we talked about before, a hypothesis, which is also called a theory, is a proposed explanation and the starting point for further study, which can be tested. Please don't forget that. If we have a theory, a scientific theory, it has to be tested. Now, this theory suggests that a supercontinent, which we call Pangaea, existed about 300 million years ago. So, I'm going to have to wait till this GIF starts again. But what you see here is the world as we pretty much know it today. And that little number there is ticking down the million years. So, let's reverse. 250 million years ago, this is what the Earth looked like. And as these millions of years move forward, you begin to see the continents moving apart. You begin to see the continents as we know them today forming. So, there we go. We begin to see North America separate. All right? Oh, there goes Antarctica and Australia and India. All right? You see Africa and South America are still stuck together. Now, let's watch here. What we see here is India begin to move upward towards Asia as South America and Africa separate. Now, India is going to move quickly towards Asia, and as it hits Asia, it's going to start to push up the Himalayan mountains. All right, there it goes. India is now squished into Asia as the other continents begin to take their current locations. All right, so you've got all the continents, and right now is the world as we know it today. This is a little faster example. All right. Here we've got Pangaea, and very quickly everything begins to separate. All right. Now again, please remember, this process took approximately 300 million years. Quite a long time. Now, like we just mentioned, if you have a theory, you have to test it. So Alfred Wegener provided some evidence as a way to test this theory. The first is fossils. So he showed us that there are some animal fossils that have been found in Africa, South America, Australia, India, and Antarctica. And this suggests that these animals lived in the same region millions of years ago. After all, how could an animal that's living in, let's say, India, a tropical hot country primarily, how could an animal living there also live in Antarctica, a frozen, cold tundra? Makes one think. Similarly, he proposed that the climate was some supporting evidence, because some plants only grow in tropical regions, but fossils have been found in cold regions, which suggests that millions of years ago, the land was in a warmer place. After all, how can you have a tropical plant growing in a cold or frozen or icy region of the world? Again, makes one think. So let's look at that. Here we've got this supporting evidence, all right? So we see some ancient prehistoric animals and plants. All right? Let's focus in on a couple places here. I want to look specifically at South America and Africa. I hope you know where they are, because I can't really highlight in this. So we've got some ancient animals, specifically the Canamerid, I hope I'm pronouncing that, Canamerid, and the Mesosaurus. Okay, both of them are living in South America and Africa. Interesting. We've also got the Labyrinthodon, all right, living in southern Africa, in Australia, and even Antarctica. Again, 3 different places, very far from each other, with very different climates today. Also, look at the plant that's matched, that's included in this picture, the Glossopteris. All right, an ancient plant that's found, in South America, in Africa, in India, in Australia, and in Antarctica. Now that's weird, very different climates, very different distinct areas of the world today. How could they have the same plant? Well, because of this, all right? If we consider Pangaea existed 300 million years ago, which all evidence points to the fact that it did, of course, our world would have looked like this, all right? These 5 locations, all right, 5 continents, South America, Africa, India, which is in Asia, Antarctica, and Australia, all combined as one in a rather tropical, hot region. So these animals are all living in the same place. Okay? They're not living in South America or Africa or India or Australia. They're all just living next door to each other. Okay? Same with the plants. They're all growing in this tropical region of the prehistoric Pangaea world. So over 300 million years, these animals died, these plants died, they were fossilized, and the continents moved to their present location. That's how we know that this supercontinent, Pangaea, existed at one point in the past. So again, Alfred Wagner proposed this hypothesis that 300 million years ago, this supercontinent Pangaea existed. And over time, the continents have moved apart. He supported this by looking at the fossils of animals and plants that were found across the globe today. So in our next class, we're going to look at how this occurred. How did the continents move? We'll have to find out next time. Have a great day.